The Crisis, How Childhood Was Rewired. In 2024, social psychologist Jonathan Haidt published The Great Rewiring of Childhood. His argument is devastating. Between 2010 and 2015, childhood was rewritten. The play-based childhood that existed for millennia was replaced by a phone-based childhood. Before smartphones, children played outside, climbed trees, and learned social skills through real-world interaction. They had unsupervised independence. They got hurt. They made mistakes. That's how resilience is built. Then came Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. By middle school, children carried supercomputers in their pockets. The result? A mental health epidemic. From 2010, rates of anxiety, depression, and self-harm among teenagers, especially girls, skyrocketed. Gen Z reported higher levels of loneliness and suicidal ideation than any previous generation. Haidt identifies 4 harms: social deprivation, sleep deprivation, attention fragmentation, and addiction. These reshape brain development during the most vulnerable years. Why do girls suffer more? Social media creates constant comparison. Girls scroll through unrealistic images of beauty and success, benchmarking their lives against impossible standards. The result? Spike in depression and anxiety. Why do boys suffer differently? Boys retreat into video games and pornography, losing motivation for real-world achievement. Academic performance drops. Social skills wither. Haidt, an atheist, admits something remarkable. Phone-based life produces spiritual degradation. Without real community and nature, young people lose meaning. He quotes Pascal, "There is a God-shaped vacuum in every human heart." Haidt is not anti-technology. He is pro-childhood. Tech giants knowingly designed addictive products for developing brains. For too long, parents and schools did nothing. Now we must act. An entire generation has been lost to screens. The cost is broken minds and lost futures. So what do? Haidt does not just diagnose the problem. He offers a practical, research-backed solution. He calls it the Great Rewiring, in reverse rewiring childhood back to health. He proposes 4 simple but powerful rules.
Rule 1. No smartphones before high school. That means no iPhone, no Android, no social media capable device until at least age 14. Instead, give children basic flip phones or dumb phones. They can still call.
Rule 3. Phone-free schools. When children walk into school, phones go into locked pouches or lockers, not in backpacks, not in pockets. Research shows that even the presence of a phone, turned off and hidden, reduces attention and cognitive performance. Rule 4. More unsupervised play and real-world independence. This is the most radical rule. Haidt argues that modern parents have become helicopter parents, hovering over every step. We fear abduction, traffic, injury, but in reality, children need to climb trees, walk to school alone, argue with friends, and resolve conflicts without adult intervention. This builds what Nassim Nicholas Taleb calls anti-fragility, the ability to gain strength from disorder. Haidt admits that individual families cannot do this alone. Parents must form communities, schools must adopt uniform policies, and governments must legislate. He calls tech companies like Meta, TikTok, and Snap the 3 biggest criminals for deliberately addicting children. And he calls on governments to treat smartphone use. Haidt's book became an instant bestseller. Why? Because it named a crisis that every parent, teacher, and teenager already felt but could not articulate. Bill Gates wrote a review titled Gen Angst, The Cost of Growing Up Online. He admitted that if he were a teenager today, he could never have done the deep work that built Microsoft. Constant notifications, endless scrolling, and the pressure of online comparison would have destroyed his focus. Prince Harry interviewed Haidt and agreed that protecting children from social media is not conservative or liberal, it is simply sane. Even parents who work inside tech companies send their own children to low-tech, nature-based schools. They know what the algorithms do. They just don't want you to know. but Haidt is hopeful. He shows that the decline in mental health began precisely when smartphones became universal, and what began suddenly can be reversed if we act together. He points to real-world success stories. Australia has passed laws banning social media for under 16s. Sweden and Norway are rolling back tablets in classrooms, returning to physical textbooks and handwriting. Across the United States, parents are forming wait until 8th pledges, where entire grades commit to delaying smartphones. Haidt's conclusion is simple: bring childhood back to earth. That means dirt, trees, skinned knees, boredom, face-to-face arguments, and unsupervised adventures. It means reclaiming children from tech giants who see them only as data and attention. He ends the book with a powerful image. For thousands of years, children grew up embedded in a physical world of family, community, nature, and play. In just one decade, we replaced all of that with a screen, and we saw the consequences. A generation more anxious, more depressed, more suicidal, and more fragile than any before. But we can choose differently. The 4 rules are not complicated. They are not expensive. They do not require new technology. They require only courage, the courage to say no, to delay, to be unpopular, and to prioritize real life over the algorithm. Haidt, the atheist, even reaches toward the transcendent. He admits that humans need vertical meaning, something above themselves. Traditional religions understood this. Modernity tried to erase it. But the spiritual vacuum remains, and smartphones have only made that emptiness more painful. So the great rewiring does not have to be permanent. We can rewire again, this time not toward more screens, but toward more life, more conversation, more play, more silence, more real. The question is not whether we can do it. The question is whether we will act before another generation is lost. 4 rules, 1 childhood. Let's reclaim it.